Good morning, friends. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a great day. I hope it's going okay for you and your family. Sometimes after when we've been together for such a long time, it gets a little hard sometimes. This is something that we didn't expect. We didn't expect to not be in school. And this virus is something that we need to be careful of, and all the grown-ups in your life are working hard to take care of you and make sure we all stay safe. And it's okay to have lots of feelings about this. Even I have feelings about it. And sometimes I talk about it, I color about it, I write about it. We can all have lots of feelings. So today I thought I'd read a couple of fun books. Sometimes after we've been together for a while, it gets a little uncomfortable for people, but let's read about it. The name of this book is No David by David Shannon. No David by David Shannon. David's mom always said, "No, David." No, David. No, David, no. No, no, no. Come back here, David. David, be quiet. Don't play with your food. That's enough, David. Go to your room. Settle down. Stop that this instant. Put away your toys. Not in the house, David. I said no, David. Davy, come here. Yes, David, I love you. I love that book. And another fun book is called Where the Wild Things Are, Story and Pictures by Maurice Sendak. Where the wild things are. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another, and another, his mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to his bed without eating anything. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew and grew and grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through the night and day. And in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all, and made him king of all the wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. Now stop, Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We love you so. We'll eat you up." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. And sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day. And into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. Those are two fun books about wild rumpuses. So today I thought we'd have a little fun by making Oopy Goop, Oopie Goop, Oopie Goop, whatever you want to call it. I haven't made this in a long time. So I have some cornstarch that I have had for a while, but I got a new box at the store. And I'm just using an old pan I had in the basement for sometimes making something and taking it, or we even cook some things on our grill in a pan like this. So I put some of that cornstarch, but I can see I need more. I don't measure when I make Oopie Goop. I just pour it in. If it's too hard, I know I need a little more water. If it's too watery, runny, then I know I need a little more cornstarch. Cut this off. I'm going to pour some more of this in. Now, if I want to make sure that I stay clean, I can put on an apron. This is an old apron. It's not a fancy one I have, but it'll work. Or if you don't have an apron, or you don't have a smock, you can take a grocery bag. You can cut off the bottom of it, just like this. You can use your scissors or ask a grown-up to do it with grown-up scissors. Now, plastic bags are something we don't play with, but as long as you're with an adult, you can then put this over your arms and you can wear it as a smock to keep your clothes from getting Oopie Goop on them. You can make Oopie Goop plain. You can make it with just water and Oopie Goop if that's what you want, or you can add coloring to it. I like to add my coloring right to the water, and I'll tell you why. Because I think when you put it in here, and it is hard in the beginning to mix up, I think that the food coloring can kind of go out and splatter, and food coloring will stain. The grown-ups that are with you, if they let you do this, I want you to let the grown-ups do the food coloring. So I only had blue, so I'm gonna do blue. I just added a couple of drops of blue food coloring to my water. I'm gonna stir it up. Then I'm gonna pour it in. I just kind of pour it all over, keeping it in the container. And you'll notice my container has some tall sides on it, so that hopefully we'll keep it in. And again, I've used that old party tablecloth that I had to keep any messes on there. And then I'm gonna show you, I just stir it up. I just stir up the cornstarch and water. And see what I mean? It gets a little hard until we can work that water right into it. So I keep stirring. As I said, I don't have a recipe, I just dump it. I think there might be a recipe in the packet that Mrs. Fuda sent out on that Google Doc, maybe for exact, but it's just, it's so easy, I don't bother with a recipe. Because it's meant to be fluid and play and have different consistencies when it's down versus when you pick it up, it kind of really, the proportions I kind of do by feel, which means that, like I said, if it's too hard, I add more cornstarch. If it's too runny, oops, see that? See, it just splattered. That's why I wore an apron. So I can see it's a little too runny. I'm just dumping, whoop, there goes some more. I'm just gonna dump some more cornstarch in. Oh. And parts of it are hard, parts of it are soft. This is a fun project. It's kind of a sensory project. It means that you're using your senses with it. There is not a smell to it, so you will not use smell. The biggest one you're going to use is touch. You're going to feel it with your hands. So I kind of have that mixed up, but my fingers will even do more. And you know, I say all the time when you're at my table at center time, that it's good for kids to get their hands messy. It's a good experience. And I have done this with children for over 35 years. So I love it. When you pick it up and try to hold it, it runs down. But then if you look at it in the tray, I still have some liquid. It almost makes like a hard, it's almost like a hard surface there. You can push it and almost crack it. There, it's a hard surface. There is some runniness to it, but it's a hard surface. I can push it and crack it, but then I can pick it up and play with it. I can try to roll it in a ball. Ah, see, it flops out, but it picks up real easy. But then once I let my hand go, it just falls right through. This is something you can play with for a while, and it's a good experience for children. So I hope, as long as you ask a grown-up and get some help with the food coloring and help with the other things, making sure it's okay, I hope today you can play with Oopie Goop. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, friends.